Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Plus 3 podcast. I am your host, Ducky Please, joined here by my wonderful co-host, Amras, aka Logan,
What's going on?
and the Arcade Buddha himself, also known as Justin.
I'm keeping that in. I'm still doing it.
And we today are talking about character choice in fighting games and what draws us to a character, what keeps us playing that character, and also what could draw us away from a character, which I think would be really interesting. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Logan, since this is your topic that you came up with, let's start with you. What draws you to a character initially, and what keeps you playing them?
So, aesthetic, I think, is a really big part of it, right? Like, if you don't think your character looks cool, or at least for me, like, if I don't think my character looks cool, I don't know how long I could play them. Like I don't know if, like, I would, like, even pick them, like, at the beginning. Like, but, so, like, you know, if you have a really cool design, and, like, from there, obviously, that's where you start. And then, once I start playing you, if I find your moveset interesting, I'll stick with you. Guilty Gear's Chip is a good example. Like, he looks super cool.
He actually does.
And so I'm like, okay, well, like, what can he do? And he's got, you know, the Gamma Blade. He's got the Alpha Blade, teleports. Like, he's super, like, mix heavy. Like, definitely my play style of super rush down, like, mix up offensive character.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you look at a character in an aesthetic and it doesn't fit for you. Excuse me. Manat, actually, Street Fighter V. I love her design. She looks super cool. And like, she has neat stuff, like her V-Trigger 1 combos. And those are fun to do, but like, her game plan doesn't fit me.
Yeah, it doesn't
And so, like,
fit at all.
even though like, I really like the character as a character, and she has things I do enjoy, like, ultimately, I couldn't stick with her just because, like, it didn't fit me as a player. But yeah, like, as long as their kit fits you, then I think that's really all I personally need. But I know it's different for other people. So.
Yeah, that's true. And then, what about you, Justin? Because I know you actually seem to have a pretty varied taste when it comes to characters that I've noticed, at least in the games that I play you in.
Well, from your point of view, like, what do you mean?
So, let's take, for example, obviously your favorite character, Zeku. He's a stance character. He's got the whole mid-range transition into rushdown thing with his form swaps. But then when we played Multi-Blood, you played Hisui, who isn't so much as a mid-range character. She does have very strong neutral, but she really shines when she sets up her Okazeme with her plants that are all sorts of fucked up. She's got really good, like, air normals, and she's very, very mix and pressure heavy, especially when she gets into the corner. More like a old school. I want to call her like an old school Ramlethal, almost. But maybe Ramlethal might be the best for that. But then we transitioned to. God, who did you play in Under Night for the short time that we played?
I actually played Mika.
Mika, yeah, the pseudo grappler. And she has no range whatsoever. She has pretty poor neutral overall, but once she gets you in the corner and she starts throwing her command grabs at you and whatnot, and speaking of which, she can combo into those and everything. It's just a whole different ball game. So what actually draws you to a character initially, and then why do you keep playing them?
Aesthetic is one thing, but it even goes even further, and personality. I gotta have a lot of good personality with my characters. Like, I didn't really care for Guy that much in the other Street Fighter games because, like, he's wearing Converse, which are like, oh, so he's kind of hip, right? Nah, he's kind of serious. He is super duper serious for a guy wearing some chucks. So the thing with that is, like, old Zeku is my preferred form because he's kind of the flip of the archetype of, like, the old martial arts master, where he's not like, you must practice every day thoroughly. No, he's like, hey kids, I'll buy you some menthol cigarettes before they ban them. he's like,
I don't see. Okay, personally, I don't see Zeku sitting outside of a 7-Eleven like and in Lucy's 13-year-old, but
But he's hip. He's really hip, and the young one is the more serious one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of personality there. He just generally his moves look cool. Like for me, it was the Graham. When I saw the Graham went full screen, I was like, wow, didn't expect that. And that's with a lot of characters. My rule of thumb usually is I love samurai aesthetic. Nagoriyuki and
Biking.
Hakumen, Baiken.
Yeah.
All those characters are cool. I love just the samurai aesthetic in general. But what can get me to try a character at least is actually the music.
Character themes, yeah.
Okay, because that's one that I never think about. Like,
what got me to play, what got me to want to try Faust at all, is the fact I did not even like the character at all. Like even Logan knew this. I'm like, Faust, man, that guy fucking sucks. Whatever, I don't give a shit. But they rebranded him completely in Strive to where he's not happy Bagman. He is unhappy Bagman.
He's very
unhappy. And his theme is this big crescendo and weird and cool, and it's one of my favorite songs in the whole game. And I was like, wow, it gave me like a different perspective on the character, which makes me want to play them.
Okay, that's interesting. All right then, I've never thought about using or utilizing or even thinking that a character theme could influence me to play a character, because I usually don't pay attention until way after. Like when I was playing BlazBlue Central Fiction and I picked up 9, the last thing that I thought about honestly was her music, and then it turns out that she has a pretty good theme. But then I flipped the script and I just went to Amane, listened to his theme, and oh boy, his theme could use some work. I'll be honest, it's one of the weaker tracks, but okay.
I mean, we all have things in fighting games where it inspires us, right? When we see a move from a character or like how they look, how they act, we embody them in some way because they're our avatar, right?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, like I just know when like Logan's gonna make the clutch factor come back. I feel it, and it's my job to stop it immediately because I feel it, because I see in his character play he activates V trigger. Like, oh shit, I have to stop this now. If he gets one combo me into a reset, I'm dead. And I see that in the gameplay.
Yeah.
But like for me, you guys have noticed it probably at some point. I get song buffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I hear a song go on, like I may not even win, but I'm gonna play hard because that's my song's on.
1,000%.
I totally feel that.
It's like I don't know. There's something like there's some media or like some anime or some show that I've seen. I can't put my finger on it, but there's a character that reminds me of, and I just can't place my finger on it. But I'll probably remember suddenly later, and then just shout it at 3 a.m. and
put it in
be upset with myself. Yeah, just put it in a post somewhere. Now, for me personally, when it comes to character choice, immediately what I do look at is aesthetic and how the character looks. But I have a certain type, and it's not that my type is limited to just one type of character look, but it's based off of what I am, what I find visually appealing. So the very first character that I went to in BBCF was 9, because I loved the look of her hat. I loved the sinister, like, powerful woman motif, and the fact that she was using magic while everyone else was using swords and all these weird items. Which small piece of BlazBlue lore, I'll skip over this next time. 9 is actually responsible for crafting everybody's weapons in that game. So when I learned that, I was like, yeah, she's the one who made everyone's weapons. So when I learned that, I was like, damn, she's really cool. And then when I swapped to Amane, I was like, I never see this character, but I do like his design. I like the dancer motif. And, the all pink, because, I love pink. It's my favorite color. The all pink default color was like, yeah, you know what, I'll give this weirdo a try, and ended up falling in love with the character. But then if you swap to Undernight, originally the character that I wanted to play was Hilda, because she fits, again, my aesthetic to a T. I love the Ojo Sama, the princess or the Hime laugh thing, the haughty, what is the word I'm looking for? The
Mommy.
Better than thou. Yeah, well, she's 16.
You're bouncing around it. You like hot mamas. Let's go.
True. I do like, but seeing that character and the way that she played and how oppressive she was, like, that really intrigued me. But then I ended up settling for like Ojo Light, like Oppressive Light in Phonon, because she has a very similar game plan, but it's just a lot simpler and easier to execute.
A lot more effective.
Well, see, I never really put in any practice. You have to see me in Uniclear one day, and we'll see what happens. But
we'll see.
So then when I moved to Street Fighter, I was asking you guys, what character I might have been interested in, because there weren't any, none of the zoners that I was particularly interested in, or none of the zoner type characters in that game I was particularly interested in at the time, because they didn't fit my aesthetic. So I went with the next best thing, and I ended up choosing Karine for the longest time, because she was the Ojo. She was the better than thou, the royalty-esque character, which, again, I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed the character. And, it was just a common theme. But I think the one that broke the mold the most, because I usually choose female characters, it was Anji in Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R.
Oh boy.
Yes, when I first played that game, I really wanted to play Anji, because I was like, well, no, none of the characters really look that interesting to me, and he looks like a himbo, so fuck it, why not?
And a himbo he is.
He really is, but he's super fun as well. There's just something about hitting that Fujin just right. It's just...
Ooh, it's,
Oh.
I mean, I'm noob in that game, but man, that shit's difficult.
But yeah, I think mostly for me, it's aesthetic first and then gameplay second. But luckily enough for me, is the aesthetic that I usually go for matches up with the gameplay. So that's a really...
And I think the longer you play, you end up making those two things like one. You get like a sixth sense about like, oh, I want to play this character. Oh, this character just so happens to play the way I want.
Yeah. I think I also have pretty good luck with that. On occasion, I find like the Monat, where I'm just like, oh. But like, for the most part, like Akuma's a me character, Ibuki's a me character, Chip is a me character, like Mei is a me character, like. So I'm glad that I at least don't go every character I love is a zoner.
Which I could see that, because there are some characters that I really like the look of, but they don't fit my playstyle at all, so I'm never going to touch them, which Nash is actually one of them. Gil in Street Fighter V. I mean, I've touched Gil, like I've played a little bit of Gil, but I can't see myself sticking with him long term. Or even someone like, what's his name? I completely lost it. Oh, Relius in BBCF, the puppet character, or even Chaos in Uniclear. I love those characters' aesthetic. I love their design, because they still have that kind of, that haughtiness about them, especially Chaos and how intelligent he is. But I don't perform super well, or I don't play super well with those characters, so they just don't fit the way that I want to play the game.
It's funny, Gil is actually one of those characters that, like, when I first seen him, I was like, alright, whatever. And, like, again, new character comes out, you play them, you try to learn them so that you know what they can do. And, like, I kind of kept playing Gil, I was like, but damn, he kind of fun, though.
He is! It's one of the
And then I just kind of
most fun
kept
characters.
playing him. And, like, I ended up not sticking with him, because, like, his offense is really fun, but, like, I don't care too much for his neutral. But, like, I would find myself in training mode with Gil a lot more than I anticipated being in training mode with Gil for. And it's always kind of cool to find those kind of characters.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you first look at the roster, like, uh-oh, I only like 3 of these characters' looks. Like, hopefully you can find somebody else. And sometimes, you don't. And it is what it is. But, like, I really like those surprise characters that you end up liking that you didn't think you would. But, characters like, actually Karen. Like, I don't really care for Karen, like, as a character. But, like, I did enjoy playing her after I learned her. But, and then some characters just, they do fit your playstyle, but you hate them so much you refuse to play them anyway. Rashid. Like, no.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
no, Rashid. Oh my goodness, bro.
Is Rashid a character that, like, fits what I want to have in my game plan? Yeah. But that character's such a shithead. I'll never do it. You'll never make me play Rashid. I have self-respect.
Oh my god, so
But-
that's the same thing with me and Dalsim, right? Because Dalsim is like your primo zoner. He even has some moves that I think are really cool, like the giant fireball that just doesn't go away, the flame carpet. That's stuff that I like in a character, because it forces your opponent to make sometimes risky decisions. But I just hate the look of the character, and there's nothing about him is cool to me.
He's so gross.
It's just not what I want in a character, but like they have those aspects, you know. Now, let's talk about something along the same lines. When you do find a character that you really enjoy and you've been playing them and you're playing them and they somewhat fit your playstyle, but then you end up dropping them anyway for a different character or so that you can feel more comfortable in the game. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that? Because I personally have recently, and I mean, this happens to me all the time. I'll usually pick up one character in the beginning of my game when I'm playing them, and then I'll drop them later on for another character along the same lines when I switched from Ramlethal in Guilty Gear Xrd to Dizzy, which I find I'm having a lot more enjoyment playing Dizzy than I did Ramlethal, but I still love Ramlethal and everything she's about. I love her design. I love her corner pressure. I love, you know, just the character is super fun and super sick, but I was having difficulty adapting to the way that she wants me to play the game. So then I switched to someone who was a bit more my speed, but I don't like Dizzy that much design-wise. Like, she's cute and all, and I love the wings and like the whole split motif, the light and the darkness kind of thing that she's got going on. But off the bat, I did not want to play Dizzy. So have you guys experienced anything similar to that? Have you ever done anything like that, Justin?
Well, you know, when it comes to playing certain characters, playstyle doesn't really mean too much for me. If I find one thing they do, I'll stick to them, right? And with Zeku, like, I didn't pick up Zeku immediately. Like, I tried him out and tried to, like, play with him, but I stuck to Ed for a long time up until those Season 3 changes where he could actually transform during his combos. And by then, I got used to it and I stuck with him. But it's not like I dropped Ed. Like, I always have an Ed, right?
Right.
But I would say, like, the character I kind of ended up dropping, at least in Street Fighter context, is G. And everything about G fits what I like. I'm a big fan of Q. He's very confident. He's very flamboyant. He's mysterious. His moveset's crazy. He's got a bopping theme. Like, everything's there. It checks it off. But it may be more so now than, like, the last seasons. He was kind of, like, one hit to kill.
Yeah.
And I love winning. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love to win. But it felt bad when I was, like, playing Logan. And, like, he'd be winning the neutral and everything. And I hit him with one standing medium kick, which I was going to cancel anyway. It just so happens to hit. And then he dies.
And
I'm just like, yeah, cool, I won. You know, cool, he's very powerful. I just don't want to win that way. I want to, like, win. I'm the kind of guy that would rather use his other set of V skills, like the V Trigger 2 and the V Skill 2.
Okay, that's super interesting that you say that, because I have a very similar story. I think I've told you guys. We'll put a pin in that, and we'll come back to it. That's interesting that you would drop a character for, quote-unquote, winning that way, because again, very similar situation.
It's not even that I felt, like, bad about doing it. Like, that's just how he worked. But, like, it was such, like, okay, I hit him, I do this one combo, then he corner carries, and he's in the corner, and then he dies. I don't feel bad. I mean, you shouldn't feel bad about playing a character. You know what I mean? But it was just boring. You know, you get a hit with Kage, and Kage has, like, a million different routes which he can go to for his combos and setups and everything like that. I get more enjoyment out of, like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of damage, but now I'm going to put you in the mix-up. And there's constant choices to make, not just I hit you once and you die.
Okay. What about you, Logan? Have you ever found a character that kind of fit your playstyle, but you ended up dropping them for one reason or another, whether it just ended up not working out, you wanted to approach the game in a different way, or anything of that nature?
Really? The only character I can really think that I was just like, no, was my very limited time in BlazBlue with Makoto. Like, I didn't know the game well enough to know, like, what tools I needed to know to have any form of consistent, like, get-in ability. And, like, I didn't feel like I was playing the game because I was too busy blocking. Because, like, she has no range, like, and, like, a lot of the cast in that game just kind of smacks you from at least half screen. And I was just like, I don't feel like I can learn the game if I can't even hit a button. So I swapped to Lambda, and that was bitter. I didn't hate Lambda, but I had a hard time finding myself in BlazBlue, and I never did, honestly. But Makoto's the closest thing I would say I had to that. But for the most part, I can say I'm at least glad enough to say any of the characters that I've wanted to play that I've pretty much stuck with them. Like I started Power Rangers with Daishi. He's still my character. I started, Street Fighter with. Well, actually, now that I mention that, Street Fighter 5, I started the game on Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And after I'd played for a while, excuse me, I felt like Ken was good, but I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to try other characters. And the next thing I knew, when I was like getting serious, I was playing Cammy. And I had actually kind of like shadow swapped to Cammy. Like I even like didn't even think about it myself. Like, no, yeah, I play Ken. And then like I'd be like, oh man, this matchup's a little, I don't know. And then I just kept finding myself falling back to her over and over again until I finally was just like, I'm a Cammy player. And but it really solidified. I joined a Discord for Street Fighter V because none of my friends were really playing it, and I didn't know Justin at that time. And I got into a lobby with a couple of people, and like by the time I got to my turn, like I could finally play the one time. Everybody but this one Diamond Guile player had quit, and I was like, all right, well, and like I fought him with Ken, and I was just like, God. Like I am struggling. I could find my ways, but like and we were talking like we were on voice, and he was just like, he's like, you gotta get in, and I'm like, but like you don't want to rush it because then you just get flash kicked and die. And I was like, screw it, and I went to Cammy, and I was like, okay, and I don't know, I was able to assess it a lot better with her, and that was what really solidified me becoming a Cammy main and dropping Ken, just because I felt like she did what Ken did but better, and I actually had more. Yeah, and she still does. I absolutely agree. Yeah. And like she was also just fun. Like I thought she was a lot of fun. I thought she was more fun than Ken, and like I just made the transition.
Okay, now picking up on that pin that I put there earlier, because this is along the same lines. I'm pretty sure that I've told you guys this story, but when I was getting started in BlazBlue, and having my little character crisis, and when I finally settled on 9, I was having a blast, and I was playing against my cousin, and I really didn't, like, at this point I didn't know about tier lists or anything, I didn't know about character power strength or anything, and then I went online for the first time, and I was super nervous, but I started playing against people, and I was winning. I was winning a lot. I was really proud of myself. I was like, wow, I'm doing super well. Like this feels different. So I was playing, I was winning, and then I decided to just like take a peek and see like, well, where does my character fall, in strength, in relative strength to the other characters? And that's when I got the forbidden knowledge. It's like Adam and Eve taking a bite of the forbidden fruit. My character just somehow happened to be top 3. And I was like, oh, okay. So I kept playing, and then I got my first complaint. I got my first, like, scrub quote over a Steam message, and I will never forget. I will never forget it. It was a Susanoo player that I was fighting. They messaged me and said, "You're shit and carried by your character." And I'll be like, your initial thought really should be, oh, that guy's just bad. Haha, I won. Like, he can't keep up or whatever. But me in my infant ways in the fighting game community, I took that shit to heart. I felt bad. I was like, damn, is that true? And then I was thinking about it. I was like, well, yeah, like 9 has this, and this, and no other character has that. Like, she's got really good long range normals that count as projectiles, so you can't really deal with them the normal way. Like, she's got a full screen tracking overhead. Kunzite's +3 on block and an overhead and fast as fuck. Like, damn, am I being carried by my character? I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm just practicing and I'm playing the game like everyone else. So then I thought to myself, was like, well, what if I just swap to a lower powered character and I play around with them for a while, and if I continue this win streak, then yeah, I'm good at the game. And if not, then I can figure out what I need to work on, but who do I fucking play? And that's when I settled on Amane. And was I winning consistently still? Yeah, actually. I was still winning very consistently at the game in the lobbies and stuff that I was playing. Even when it was against my friends or people that I thought were better than me, I was doing relatively well, but I was lacking a few tools that I had gotten accustomed to, so there were some slip-ups here and there. But I also, in it, found a character that I loved. And that's kind of where I want to take the next part of this conversation is when you do feel bad about your character choice. Because I don't know if I'm the only one who has... I know you just went over it slightly, or in a similar sense, Justin, but... I have genuinely felt bad about my character choice when playing against like friends or like I don't care if it's against randoms. Like if I'm playing against randoms and I'm playing a strong character, I'm gonna play my strong character, and whatever you say, fuck it, I don't care. I'm here to play. I'm also here to win. But if this is a character that I like and I'm having fun with, I'm gonna play them. But it's different when I'm playing against like friends or like people that I'm sitting like right next to, and you know, sometimes I just lose myself, I don't pay attention, and I go a little hard, and they might not play fighting games or they may not play that particular fighting game as much as I do, and I can either visibly see that they are not enjoying themselves, or they'll make a comment or something and I'll be like, alright, let me stop. Like that guilt does kind of get to me. I don't know if you guys experience that same thing or not, but
it depends on who I'm fighting, I guess. Like if there's someone who like plays the game and like they're trying to get better at it, then like you'll be, oh, I'll kind of step in. I like, oh, well, you know, this move is this. It's like negative, or you can punish it, or this is something you can do. But I can't say I've ever felt bad for playing a character. But I mean, I play shithead characters like Akuma, so like,
let it rip.
Well, like, master the fist, baby, let's go.
It's good. It's angry too.
Oh, it's so angry. I love it. but I will absolutely do the whole like, I'm not gonna go hard on like the people I know if they're like trying to get into the game, or again like this isn't their game. Yeah. Like they're trying to get into this game, like, cause nothing is more demoralizing when you're trying to get into the game than blocking for 99 seconds, getting clipped once, and never being able to play the game. Like that's not fun. You can't learn anything if like you're just getting mauled to death.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I try not to be that guy, but I do understand absolutely the being on both sides of that.
Yeah. Because I try to think of it as like a hubris thing. Like if I'm on the side that's receiving like the beatdown, in my head I'm telling myself, it's okay, you don't play this game like that, you're still learning it, you're still learning the basics, the fundamentals, you're gonna get hit by some wacky shit from time to time, and that's okay. Because it helps me keep a level perspective on what's actually happening with the game and with my character, so I can actually think about like, well, what options do my character have? What options do their character have? Like what is actually going on? And it helps me refocus. And then sometimes I can pull out small improvements, like, you know, beating a strategy that I notice that they have, or like a habit that they have. But when I'm on the giving end of that, I'm just like, well, I don't want to sandbag, because I'm not gonna. Like, I don't. That's one thing that I don't do. I don't sandbag. Like, if someone is getting into the game, sure, I will like reel myself in, but I don't. Like, we're playing the game, and the objective is for us. One of us needs to be left standing. Like, I will teach you. I will go. Like, I'll let you know what your options are, what the system mechanics are, or everything. But it's not gonna be free.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with that.
Now, outside of G, you never really felt bad about playing a character, have you, Justin?
Well, I didn't feel bad about playing G.
Well, just like the gameplay of it. So,
you know, it got to a point with all of us to where I really stuck with playing Street Fighter, right, for a long time. And you notice when we go into sets, I pick 11.
Yeah.
That's how I want to play, because I don't like sandbagging because it's not fun at all. You know, like, why am I there? So what I'll do is 11 and Dan are perfect fucking characters for me to play against, like, people that aren't used to the game, or if I'm just trying to have some casual laugh, kind of fun, right? Because I can go in there, pick 11. Who am I gonna get? So get Zeku? Well, fuck, you know. Whoops. But get Alex? Okay, fuck. I played everybody to where I know a little bit, and I've watched enough of these characters to where, like, okay, I'm not optimal by any means, but I got a combo. Let's see what we can do with it. So, and that's kind of how I find my challenge about it, right? Is that, and that's not even really a character. That's just playing a game for so long, right?
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to, like, other games where I'm not as proficient, where that's really only Street Fighter. Like, if I go into any other game, like Guilty Gear or whatever, I'll play Baiken to fucking win, you know, because you guys are still whooping my ass. So
there's more of an even, like, a level playing field there. So it's...
But on the other side, let's say getting my ass beat, there are two ways to look at this, right? There's two ways that I've come to adapt it. There's the Blaze Blue, and I was playing with you, Ducky. Actually, it's both of you. Playing Blaze Blue, you pick, who's your dude?
Amane.
And I picked Hakumen. You even picked 9 at one point. I'm playing Hakumen. You can play whatever you want. I'm playing Hakumen. If I get my ass whooped, whatever. There are 40 other fucking characters I need to learn the matchup for. Let's fucking go. You know? If I get my ass whooped, I just want to at least get a bearing on it. You know? I want my ass whooped as much as possible if I want to play a character. On the other end of that, let's say it's a game I'm not trying, we're just dabbling in it for a couple of minutes. You know, we play a little bit of Accent Core. You picked Anji, and damn, like, people talk about how toxic that character was at times. I'm like, I can figure it out. Ooh, what the fuck? It got to me at one point, not even because, like, if I'm mixed up, like left, right, whatever, and I die, I'm like, oh fuck, damn, should have been paying attention. The worst thing is that you do, I think it's Fujin, you jump up and do your air, like, fireball move, right?
Yeah. I'd either do that, or then I was starting to mix in the hop behind into throw.
And you got to a point where I saw you, like, Fujin, jump up, do your air fireball, and repeat it. You repeated it 3 times. I'm like, okay, I've downloaded that. And then I try something, doesn't work. Try something, doesn't work. Try something, doesn't work. And I'm like, whew.
What do I do?
But it made me tilt. But I realized, okay, I obviously don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's on me. Like, that's a scrub killer thing, it's killing me. I'm a scrub, and it's killing me.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it comes to games like that I'm not going to dabble in too much, I just picked Holy Order Saul.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Suddenly that
like,
cheese
okay,
didn't work.
Right, you want that? I'll do this. Like, we're just fucking around, right? Like, I don't care.
It was still a really fun set, though.
I always try to have a good time either way.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
True. All right, and that will be it for us today. So I do want to thank Justin and Logan for being here today. Greatly appreciate you guys. Let us know down in the comments below what characters you're drawn to initially when you start a fighting game, what drives you away from a character in a fighting game, and if you've ever had to do the old main swap once or twice in your day. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you guys think. Please be sure to like and subscribe and follow at +3pod on Twitter to get updates for the podcast itself. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, anywhere that has a social media. I've got one. It's at Ducky Please. That's DUCKIEPLZ. Sorry. Please be sure to follow Justin on his Twitter at BitchKamikaze, and Logan is still to be determined at this point, but his information will be coming soon, and as soon as it does, all of his information will be down in the description below. Any closing thoughts from you guys?
Fighting games are something so great.
Truly something so great.
Peace out, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Hope we will see you guys next week. Have an awesome day.
Peace out.